Hello everybody, how you doing? Now you'll notice a few shadows and things here. I'm at the top of the garden and I am absolutely loving the last rays of sunshine on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. You can hear the birds tweeting away. Spring is upon us and the weather's going to be lovely this week. Absolutely fantastic. So we took advantage of this beautiful weekend and we went out yesterday with the grandson and we went over to Wicksteden Park, which is fantastic. I ain't been there since a kid. And then on the way back, we popped into Braybrooke Brewery because they now have a tap room. Absolutely fantastic. It was buzzing, it was busy. We were queuing out of the door to get a beer, and wow, was it worth it when we went in there. And whilst we were in there, they've got a nice fridge there. I'm not sure how I'm going to cut these videos in, but they've got a lovely fridge with their own beer, other beers, bits and bobs in there. And whilst I was in there, I had a beautiful Keller lager, absolutely fantastic, lovely and malty, lightly hopped, really nice, straight from the cellar, absolutely lovely. Well, it wasn't straight from the cellar, it was on the tap where it was coming from. However, what I've got here that you can see in the background is a Franconian Dunkel. Now, a Franconian style sort of like lager can be anything. It can be, it's just a traditional sort of like lager. It can be sort of like more malty, things like that, as I'm aware. And it's between these two breweries, so it's a collaboration between Utopian Brewery and Braybrooke Brewery. So you are talking, this is going to be absolutely lovely. So I had to pick this up. Now, whilst I was there, I like to support the breweries. I don't like to walk out of independent breweries with their glasses. So I went to the bar and I asked the gentleman, can I buy one of your glasses? They were serving it in these beautiful jugs. So I asked him if I could buy one. And he said, oh yeah. And he took one. Is this one okay? And he gave it to me. And when I actually got the bill, what I had bought came to around about what I thought he charged me. So I think my honesty in asking him if I could have a glass, buy a glass rather than take one, I think he gave me the glass for free. Now, they were serving this in here with a nice lovely head. It was beautifully conditioned. I'll put the photos in as I chat. And this has got up to the pint line there, so there's room for the head of the beer. Now, before I crack this open, I'm actually going to say what this beer is. I've got the website open here. So it says, brewed with our friends and titans of lager brewing, which they are, Braybrooke Brewery, to celebrate the Love and Beer Festival 2024. I'm not sure what that was. I know that Braybrooke Brewery do a festival that I missed out on this year, or last year. So this is our take on a Franconian Dunkel, brewed with dark malts and a touch of smoked malt. You know what I mean? It's like already double decoction, fermented cold, of course, and hopped with East Kent Goldings hops. Pours a deep mahogany, bread crust, toffee and tobacco on the nose, rich body with biscuit and toast, leading to a pleasantly crisp and bitter finish. A tradition to the lagers of yesterday. Right, 4.9% in a 440 can. Let's put that down. Let's crack this open. Let's get it into the can. So, yes. Oh, a style of lager. Oh, look at this. A style of lager brewed in Germany. And, probably, I think just some of them can be like an amber colour. It can be a Keller. There can be different styles of the lager. So, I'm going to put that there on this barrel, on this oak barrel over there. So you can just sort of see it in the distance. Now, like what I had yesterday, beautiful head. Every beer that I've had, the two beers that I had was the Keller beer and the Pilsner, right? Okay, so just give me 1 second. I'll be back in a second. Right, so the reason I paused there is I was just thinking to myself, because I'm just doing this sort of like at the end of the day, thinking Franconian style lager, Bavarian style lager. I was just thinking, is there any real difference? But I don't really know. I can't really find that there is. Please tell me if you know the difference. But they're almost close to each other. It's a German beer, isn't it? But I think probably the Franconian style probably go more towards the darker type malts or whatever. But then you can get a Bavarian lager that can do the same. You can have all sorts, can't you? Helles, Dunkel, whatever. Anyway, I'm not an expert at that. I've just finished that lovely lager. And I've just dropped in here to say, I've just looked into it because I was confusing myself a little bit. So a Franconian style lager uses Munich malts that give a more deeper amber colour. And a Bavarian style lager is more of a lighter lager using noble hops and things to give that more fresher, crisp, cleaner sort of light lager, if you know what I mean. So there is a difference between the two styles. And I sort of knew that, but I didn't. So if anybody can give me any more information, please do in the comments. Just because I do a YouTube channel and I bring these beers to you, I don't know it all. Cheers, everybody. But I just know that this is a Dunkel, so it's a dark. And ooh, just from that there, I thought I heard Janie coming. Right, let's. Yeah, it smells sweet, smells lovely, it smells malty, smells great. This is one of the beers to give to your calling drinkers, to sort of say, you want a lager, have a go at this. Right, cheers everybody. Cheers Braybrooke and cheers Utopian Brewery. Yeah. It's just fabulous. It's just so fabulous. Now, the one thing that we get a lot of in this country is UK breweries can't brew lager. Now, if you want two of the best UK breweries brewing lager, it's Utopian. Utopian use 100% British ingredients, and Braybrooke Brewery. Now, I don't think Braybrooke use 100% British ingredients. I think they do use some German. I'm pretty sure that they have got some connections and they do use some German hops and maybe even some German malts and things. But the one thing none of them can do, they can't use the German water, can they? But let me just tell you what these two breweries do. Whatever they do to their water, they do it great. They do it fantastic. It's soft, it's lovely and clean, it's fresh, it's nice, it helps to give that conditioning of that beer just like that. It's absolutely beautiful. Now, I love the fact that when we went to Braybrooke yesterday, everybody was drinking out of these, and they've got different types of glasses there, but everybody was drinking out of these. And I noticed most of the beer, the lager that they were drinking, there was a 3.8% guest IPA there, I think, but I don't think anybody was having that because most of them was this colour, this sort of colour, and I think they were drinking the Keller beer. The Pilsner was slightly lighter in colour, but it was still lovely and fresh, and you could taste their malts in there. And it just made me really grasp the fact that pretty much I'd say 95% of people that were at that tap room were drinking lager. And I remember in 2023 when I went through a great big period of a lot of German lagers and that, it was the year of the lager for me. And then you've got sort of like a lot of UK breweries bringing lagers into the front. And when it comes to summer and the sun starts shining and everything else, this is where these beers really actually shine like the sun. Oh, this is just like one of the nicest sort of tasting beers. But what I like about it, it's fermented cold, so you can drink it cold and you can get all them flavours. If you was to get like a sort of an amber ale or, this sort of colour in a traditional ale, you couldn't drink it this cold. You really couldn't. This is straight out the fridge and it's still hitting with all them flavours. And this is where a lot of traditional ale drinkers will really love German beers. They won't want the fizzy lagers like your Peronis and your Carlin. I mean, Carlin, I don't even know what that is. Your Stellas and all that sort of stuff. Although if you had a Stella from Belgium, it's pretty decent. It's all right. That will still get you going. But when you talk about all the sort of like just the highly carbonated macro lagers, nah, it's not for me. This is a sort of lager that your traditional ale drinkers will love. It feels so naturally carbonated in the mouth. it gives you a lovely tingle on your tongue. It really has got them dark, biscuity, dry, sweet malts. 1 minute it gives you a little tiny dryness, then it comes back with the sweetness. Very lightly hopped, but you can tell the hops are there, probably giving it that tiny little bit of dryness. It's sweet, but in a really natural way. It's not like sweet, horrible sweetness. It's just, you can tell that it's come from a quality ingredients, and I just don't know how they managed to get the water quality so well, because that's the one thing I miss in certain lagers that are brewed by good breweries. You see, they'll use like a decoction mash with this. I think they mentioned, I think that's where they take some of the mash out. I think they, every time I think about this, I lose what it is. But I think they take some of the mash out, boil it like mad, and then introduce it back into the mash. Bear with a second. Right, so a little Google there, and I don't always trust Google with certain things, but yeah, it is taking a portion of the mash out, boiling it, and then introducing it back into the mash, which raises the temperature. And it's frowned upon sometimes, but what it does is it really gets all them caramel, sort of like them real sort of like sweetness out of the malts. And you can do double or triple decoction mashing, so depending how far you want to go with it, keep taking the portion out, boiling it, whacking it back in, raising the temperature, really getting all them sort of almost molasses type of sugars out of the burntness. That's probably why this has got a little bit of smokiness about it. You really do get them biscuity, caramelly. It's like almost like a, you know when you've had them, like, I don't have many biscuits, when you have them caramel biscuits, and you've got like, there's no chocolate in this, but you've got the biscuit base, a little bit of caramel, like a toffee type of biscuit. Forget about the chocolate bit, just think about having the toffee with some biscuit base. Like if you had a toffee cheesecake, that's almost like what you're getting here. It's like, you're getting like a very subtle toffee type of cheesecake taste, but it's very all rounded off in beer, if you know what I mean. This I have to chuckle to myself because my mate won't touch lager. I ain't having any lager. No, I don't want no lager. Oh God, I'm just an ale drinker. I could turn around to him and say, mate, yeah, I've got you this lovely, really nice ale, and it's basically brewed a bit differently. So you get all the flavours with it being cold. It's like it's brewed as an ale, but it's cold. It's fermented cold, and try it, see what you think. It'd be like, oh, it smells lovely. That's all. The flavours in that are amazing, especially when you just have it like that. You really get that biscuity note. And I'd say, oh, that's a lager you're drinking there, mate. And he'd be like, what? No. Oh no, but basically you've got to just think to yourself, if you're a real ale drinker and you're a bit scared of lagers, just get on some of these lagers because you won't be disappointed. There's so much flavour in it. The only difference between a lager and an ale is one is brewed hot and one is brewed cold. Basically, one's top fermented, one's bottom fermented. That's the only difference. You can put the same ingredients into lagers as you can beer, ale. Just don't think, just take your mind away from the macro lagers and enjoy this. And I love this glass. Oh, it's absolutely incredible. So here it is. Lovely can art as well. And I think if you get two of these together, you can have the Utopian one side and the Braybrooke the other, and they stand together as a can, and they make the sort of like the picture there. Anyway, this has probably been a long video because I've waffled on about this. So it's actually been brewed at Utopian, and it's the Love Beer Festival, so I'm gonna have to check that out, the Love Beer Festival, see what that's about. But yeah, absolutely fantastic fantastic. This will take pride and place on the Spencer Arms ceiling. Right, this has been a Spenowaffle, but I don't care. These beers, it's like if you sat here with your mate, you could just be talking about it. And you know what? Over at Braybrooke Brewery, in their tap room, if you're ever around the Market Harbour area of Leicestershire, get yourself down there, take in the atmosphere. It's gonna be an enjoyable time. They've got a little kiddies playground there as well, ample parking. Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. The food looks fantastic. So yeah, right, take care everybody. I'm just gonna add this last drop, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.